everybody. Yes, come in, take off your shoes please. Big thanks to everyone who's been watching the channel recently. I couldn't help but notice the view count has been going slightly crazy recently. So to make sure you don't miss any of that juicy content, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Have you done it yet? I also realised back when I did my Zeta Toys Baruticon review that I didn't give him a rating. 4 3/4 stars. Done. Right, so we're back with another episode of Look Out and Show. Now, for those of you who have been watching my top 5 videos recently will know that something in this box is very close to my heart. Say hello to Generation 2 Megatron. I mean, it's probably Siege Megatron and Earthrise and Kingdom 2. We'll call him the War for Cybertron mould. So let's have a look at him, shall we? So we'll start off in tank mode. And is this thing a joy to handle or what? I mean, I just love that purple and green camouflage. He's not even trying to hide. And that turret just looks so meaty, so heavy. Okay, so we'll get the negative things out of the way. Look at the feet at the back here. They're just kind of sticking out from robot mode. And recently Borders did a review on the War for Cybertron Earthrise Ironhide that had the same problem. So feet sticking out the back of vehicle mode isn't unheard of in this line. But I will say, for this figure, it's a bit more unforgivable. Look at that space back there. They had room to maybe fold these in, but they didn't. So that one's, yeah, a bit more unforgivable. That's probably the only gripe I have with this figure in this mode. The tanks aren't treads, they're just on plastic wheels, but this isn't Zeta. What did you expect? The turret doesn't move upwards, to my knowledge, but does rotate nicely, so that's okay. Part of me does wish the fusion cannon was actually the main event of the turret, just to make me look a bit beefier, but I really can't fault it. It's great fun with a large gun. And whilst it may be comparing apples with oranges, here he is alongside Earthrise Starscream. Transformation is straightforward, but there is an element of parts forming. The turret mode comes off and acts as a gun/sword in robot mode. I'm not totally sure why it is, but Megatron with a sword seems to be what he has nowadays. I do find it a little bit fiddly in parts when you're trying to tab in certain parts that bridge the tank and getting the legs up underneath to make the tank itself. It can be a bit fiddly in its way, but the figure's not very tall. There's only so much fiddly it can be. Now this is where the toy shines. Just look at how it presents itself. Look at that face, look at that misty blue face. It doesn't give you any reassurance whatsoever. And it's got great posability too. Look at that ankle tilt. You know I love the tilt. This is where the fusion cannon takes centre stage. You have to move it to the front of the arm so you can get the arm to rotate out and get better poses. But it looks much more menacing in this mode than it does in tank mode. And here he is in robot mode against his faithful Lieutenant Starscream. They just look wonderful together. This whole line has looked wonderful together. We say it time and time again, these are mini masterpieces. They just look so good as a set, they're so great to fiddle around with. It really is kind of peak Transformers in the chug line at the moment. I can't really consider this a gripe, but if I had to be really picky, the only thing I'd say, to be faithful to the Generation 2 toy back in the 90s, is that the cannon was on his shoulder, as some of you will remember. And I think I have seen something online, I guess a 3D printed part or even an upgrade kit, where you get like this orange block that plugs into the shoulder. So I guess maybe this could come out the way at the back, and the cannon, if I get it off, can sit on his shoulder like so, to look a bit more aesthetically pleasing to the Generation 2 vehicle. Of course now it's just not sitting at all. But maybe that's the thing that could come out, could be released, to really capture that Generation 2 aesthetic. Articulation wise he's pretty good. You get the standard arm up and down. They are on sliding joints, which I'm not entirely sure as to why that is. Maybe that's to stop them from breaking during transformation, but they can come off sometimes. Arms go all the way up and round eventually. The back pieces do get in the way from time to time. Elbows have got some good friction to them. Lock up and down. There isn't too much at there's an elbow turn. There's nothing really at the wrist other than transformation. But the legs are pretty solid. There's about not much of a waist swivel, but there's some. Just over maybe 180 degrees, maybe just under. 90-degree knee bend, and of course an ankle tilt, and that alone gets you good poses. No ab crunch, the head goes left and right and up a bit, but probably the lower half of this figure is where you get the posability out of it. A huge selling point for this toy is its paint scheme, which of course is inspired by the Generation 2 Megatron of the 90s. Even if you have the Siege and Earthrise variants of this mould, this paint scheme alone is enough to make you want to buy the figure again. It just pops so much and is so vibrant, it really would stand out in anyone's collection. So based on this, I give this 4 Rodimus Star Badges. If you've already got this figure, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Would you like to see more G2 replates in the War for Cybertron line? Well, we'll leave it there for today. Thanks for watching. Or should I say, thanks for watching. No, wait, I take it back!